3 Indianapolis kitchen renovations, each with a $50,000 price tag.
What I love most about this kitchen is the space that we created for entertaining.
To put these remodels to the test, we're bringing in a local realtor.
For buyers, laminate is just hardwood's ugly cousin.
The exciting part costs a lot more money.
And a design expert.
I don't like it. It's too bold. It doesn't really make sense here in the middle of this floor.
Well, it works for us.
Only one of these kitchens will take top prize.
It got the biggest bang for your buck. Now here's why.
I don't even know what to say to it.
That's ridiculous.
Lytel, I'm sorry, you don't know what you're talking about.
We're in the racing capital of the U.S., Indianapolis, looking for a kitchen with the biggest bang for your buck. Each of these 3 kitchens were renovated for $50,000. And that's the average for a major kitchen remodel.
Yes.
Pamela Sherwood and Angela Drake wanted to create an inviting gathering place for their family and friends.
We live in the Meridian-Kessler area of Indianapolis, which is about the northern side of the city. And there tend to be more traditional homes, a lot of brick and stucco homes you'll find in this area.
I think our style is called a Tudor. It was built in 1931. I would say that it's very eclectic. It's got a modern feel within the old historic kind of 1930s feel of the house. Before we renovated this kitchen, when we first bought the house, we thought it was ghastly. The footprint was very, very small. The counter space was a small L. The stove was in the middle of one wall with nothing around it. And it was cut off from the rest of the house. I never would have imagined, once we tore down a couple walls, how much space and light we would have and how it would pull the whole house together.
We decided to open up this wall in order to create a larger space. And we also included this threshold to separate the 2 areas. This worked out really, really well because it matches the countertops in the kitchen.
There was a wall right here, and then there was a huge wall all the way over here. And we took both those walls down so that we could get an entire countertop and to add a bar area.
Well, the floor in the kitchen was linoleum originally, so we were trying to match the original floor with the kitchen as closely as we possibly could. So we had them use this transition piece.
These cabinets are solid maple with a vanilla bean glaze, and we like the fact that because of the glaze, they looked a little bit older. Before, there was a very tall window here, and so we bricked the entire window in, and it allowed us to put some upper cabinets in.
We decided to keep the original appliances to save money. We added the microwave because there wasn't one.
We like the character of the old windows. We've kept all the old windows in the house. We like sort of the wavy glass in the 1930s. We have a great space for entertaining. You know, kitchen is always the heart of the home. When we have friends over, everybody's congregating around this eating area here.
I love it. It's my favorite place to be.
But what will our experts think? Indianapolis realtor Greg Cooper and designer Lytel Young are about to turn up the heat in this kitchen.
Wow, you talk about the kitchen being the heart of the house.
They have done a great job.
This is great. You walk in the door and the first thing you see is the counter space, seating. This is great.
Well, thank you.
That's what we were going for. That
Exactly.
was absolutely the #1 priority.
It's a great open area. They've opened this area up, and they've given us some great gathering space.
Yep.
Love to just
Everybody-
hang out there in the kitchen, right?
That's right. It's
Yeah.
my favorite place.
What about the color? What do you think of the color of granite?
Beautiful piece of granite, but it's very strong in its color.
Interesting. Well, it works for us. I think that's the one area that really pops in the kitchen. It adds some nice
Absolutely.
color.
Yep.
And you see how they carried it over here.
They're not going to like the threshold, that's what I'm guessing.
I'm getting that feeling.
They've taken a wall out, and they've used a granite transition, which is exactly the same as the counter area. Does it work for you?
I don't like it. It's too bold. It doesn't really make sense here in the middle of this floor. It's a major interruption.
Wow. We like it. You know, it sort of marries the spaces together.
Spend the money to try to make it work. There's a way that you can match old wood with new wood.
If I had it to do all over again and if we had more money to do it, I still would have done the threshold.
Now, what about the transition here?
You know, this is an area where there are a lot of historic homes. People love their hardwood floors. Unfortunately,
It is hardwood. It is hardwood.
it's real hardwood.
That's
Both
good.
sides are. One's
Right.
the original, one's the newer transition.
Right. I think they would have been better off if they used a stone on the floor.
Stone?
Stone, how
Now,
hard is that on your knees to stand in a
would
kitchen?
we have put stone in that area? Why?
Make a clean break, have something
Yeah,
totally
nice
different, a new service.
transition, you know, introducing something new. I think it would have worked well here.
No, I wouldn't do that any differently either. I don't think that's a big deal.
Cabinets. It's sort of a distressed look, vanilla bean glaze. I like it.
They took a window out, bricked it over. They've gone ahead and they've added an extra section of cabinets.
I think this was one of the best investments we made in terms of bricking up that one window.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Now that they kept one of the windows, now a missed opportunity.
What kind of missed opportunity?
I'd like to hear more about that.
They should have completely stripped the window. You know, new hardware, stripped it down, painted it, made it look really clean.
That's very nitpicky.
Had they changed the hardware out as you suggested, that window would pop.
Right.
But right now, it's kind of a wallflower. It kind of seeds back and it's just there for the light versus a really nice accent, which is what it could be.
I don't really think that's a huge, huge issue.
I
That's
certainly don't think a buyer coming in is going to look at that
No,
and say,
it's going
oh,
to look
well.
at that, oh, I'm not going to buy the house because there's not new hardware on there, or they painted over the window. That's ridiculous.
These appliances they've kept from the previous kitchen. I don't
Which
see
is
any
fine.
problem
Right.
with that whatsoever.
I agree with you.
Buyer's standpoint view may be this. We've got an upscale home, a nice remodeled kitchen, really prefer to have gas.
You know, we debated about the gas range for a really long time, and because we have young kids, neither one of us are that comfortable around gas. I think it's an easy change for somebody to come in and switch out the electric stove for a gas stove.
Let's talk about these cabinets.
Okay, a combination of glass. I like the glass, you know, this is great. Only problem that I have with this is that if you're gonna go with glass that you can see through, then on the other side of the doors, it should be something really stunning. A beautiful sort of set of dinnerware.
Wow, now we really are getting picky.
All in all, from the real estate side of this is a terrific new kitchen, but in a tough competitive market, I worry that some of these small distractions might not be palatable to a lot of buyers.
I think this is an outstanding kitchen.
And I think that any changes that someone would want to make when they would come into this house would be minor.
Up next,
I think that this space here could have been better utilized.
I don't think anybody's going to notice that,
No.
Vital.
and later,
All right, let's talk about the flooring in here.
I like it.
Laminate is just hardwood's ugly cousin.
each of these 3 Indianapolis kitchen renovations cost $50,000.
It's too bold. It doesn't really make sense here in the middle of this floor.
Everyone's entitled to their opinion.
And our experts aren't pulling any punches to figure out who got the biggest bang for your buck. Andrew and Michelle Salwin wanted a mix of both classic and contemporary.
We live in the Meridian Kessler neighborhood in the middle of Indianapolis.
They're all older homes, 1900, 1920s. Ours is a arts and crafts style that was built in 1923.
Renovation was about 6 months.
We had laminate countertops and peel and stick floors, built-in cabinets that were not nice. They weren't original built-ins.
Now we have a space that lends itself to our lifestyle.
Being able to have friends in the kitchen while we're preparing a nice meal for them is probably my favorite thing about the kitchen.
There used to be a wall here. We took that out, which opened this space up, gave us this baker's counter.
We chose concrete countertops. We didn't want the average kitchen, and we knew countertops was a way that we could really do something completely different.
We wanted to add a little splash of color, so I came up with an idea of putting a little splash of red in with the pendant lights. It seemed to work really well.
For our cabinets, we decided to go with a natural sawn oak. For some of these lower cabinets, we decided to go with the high gloss black acrylic Just mixing the two cabinets together kind of gave a little bit of a unique feel to the kitchen. We also put in a pot filler. It's kind of a fun, funky looking little feature, and it's practical as well.
For the floors, we went with slate, and we liked the look of the natural stone.
We used to have a space here with a bunch of pretty much useless cabinets. We had them all taken out. We had the microwave and warming tray both installed. What I love most about this kitchen is that we created more space, and especially the space that we created for entertaining with our friends.
Let's find out what our experts think.
Greg, this is a pleasant surprise. I was not expecting this at all.
This space is tight, but it makes a terrific first impression.
We did go from an extremely small space to a small space. It is tight, but so far so good.
I love concrete, you know, because it's not the typical sort of granite.
But at the end of the day, a lot of our buyers from the real estate perspective are going to be a little bit hesitant because this is highly personal.
We absolutely made a personal choice.
Yeah, we didn't want the same thing that everyone else remodeling their kitchen at that time was doing.
I think that this space here could have been better utilized because you have the refrigerator here. When this door is open, you can't sit.
Buyers are going to see something that does a little bit of impeding on their space.
We set the refrigerator back into that wall so that we could have a little bit of extra space there.
And I don't think anybody's ever had a problem getting a beer out of that refrigerator.
No, they haven't.
This is beautiful. They combined lacquer with stained oak, reeded glass. I think what they created here is very special, very unique. And then, of course, this very deep stainless steel sink.
I had to convince you that a single bowl sink would work in this kitchen.
And I'm so glad I gave in.
Now let's talk about the slate on the floor. The grout lines are a little bit too thick.
The grout lines.
I think if they tightened it up, it would have made a more cleaner platform.
I don't think anybody's going to notice that,
No.
Vital.
From the real estate side of it, not a big deal.
We're pleased with what we did. We think this floor looks great.
And I love how they sort of wrapped it up on the backsplash. Initially, I thought it would be too much, but you know, it's very subtle.
Yeah, it is. It doesn't overwhelm you.
That was my concern with all the stone. I was afraid it was going to be busy. I was afraid it was going to be cave-like. But that backsplash was the very last thing that we did, and another thing that we argued about.
And of course, pot fillers are really special these days. You see them used often.
Correct. People really react to those. That's an eye catcher.
We used that a lot more than we thought we were going to.
Didn't think we would.
No.
Had to be convinced that it would be a good idea to
Yeah.
put it in. Really glad we did.
I have a problem with this space here.
Too busy?
It looks like it's a lot of wasted space. I think if they had, like, say, created some pantry, some sort of swing outdoors or
Right.
something, they could have more storage here.
He obviously didn't open up the basement door.
There's no more space there.
No.
It's a stairwell.
And this space down here, the first thing that struck me, especially for what all of this kitchen has, is wouldn't that have been a great place for a wine cooler? Because for some of us, wine is the fifth major food group.
We usually drink our wine before it needs to be cool.
A few things that we question.
Right.
But who knows?
It has an awful lot of good things going for it. The only real issue at the end of the day, is there enough space?
That's our concern.
The only other way we could have made that kitchen bigger was to take out a bedroom. I don't think
There
that
was
would
no
have been the biggest bang for your buck.
No, it wouldn't have.
Up next,
The tile on the wall, it's just sort of bland and blah.
The exciting part costs a lot more money.
only one kitchen gets the biggest bang. Find out why the others fell short. $50,000 is the cost of each of these 3 kitchen renovations. They're all in Indianapolis, where the D'Alessandros wanted to create a family-friendly gathering place.
We're in northern estates in Indianapolis, Indiana.
It's an older, more established neighborhood. There's a huge mix of homes, from huge mansions to one-story ranches.
Our house is a Cape Cod style house.
I think it's kind of a mix of traditional and contemporary, but not too contemporary.
The old space was partitioned off, had the kitchen on one side and the eating area on the other side. Very dated kitchen.
Very dated. Now our kitchen is open. Every day when I come down and I see this kitchen instead of my old one, I am just thrilled. We wanted an area where we could all get together and meet as a family. So came up with this idea of the quartz top and seating around it.
Another thing we did was the bench seating. It gives us another place to meet and greet.
One of the things that was just so important to me, I had just recently lost quite a bit of weight, and so I really wanted to cook more healthy. So I was adamant about getting a gas stove and then the stainless hood, and I love the look of it. It almost becomes a focal point of the kitchen. It's definitely one of my favorite things.
We settled on a ceramic backsplash, a little less expensive. Still, I think it's in nice colors.
We decided to go with the maple cabinets. We decided to go with the lighter stain just because it's such a contrast with the countertops.
We went with the wood laminate flooring. Very easy maintenance, nice color, matches the cabinets. We've got 2 dogs and the maintenance is very key for us. My favorite part of the kitchen renovation was the flat screen TV. Recessed 32-inch flat screen TV. Overlooks the seating area. When we're entertaining people, it's a good focal point of the room.
But what will our experts focus on in this kitchen renovation?
Nice open kitchen. This sort of seating area sort of greets you as soon as you walk into the kitchen. This is great.
Great gathering area, family, friends, entertaining, whatever it may be. This is really nice. It allows people to look each other in the eye, so it's constructed very well.
Bay window, additional seating area. That's always nice.
And certainly for a family, kids are going to be plopping down over here all the time.
They're on a roll.
They pegged it.
Now, Greg, let's talk about functionality.
Oh, boy.
Way too narrow.
Yeah.
You know.
First wrong thing he said.
Yeah, that's
So
tight.
I'm sure if I was to do this and this,
not a lot of space between the
That's a problem.
appliances and cabinet access.
We've never had that problem.
Yeah, I guess I don't throw away things at the same time I'm opening the oven.
the tile on the
Okay.
wall, you know, it really doesn't excite me. It's just sort of bland and blah, and it could have been something really exciting.
I like it. I don't think it's boring.
The exciting part costs a lot more money.
The appliances are great. Pretty standard.
They've got the stainless, they've certainly got the double drawer dishwasher, they've got the microwave, French door, refrigerator, all of those things are very strong, but we have something here that is going to be a challenge, at least in terms of the real estate perspective of this kitchen.
I think it's overpowering. It's too much.
That surprised me.
I know, yeah.
It was a nice addition.
I love it.
I'm with you.
Another option was to go with the cooktop sort of exhaust fan.
I don't know. I don't even know what to say to it.
I don't either.
Maple cabinets, that's great. It's a light color, so it opens the kitchen up visually.
I think that's exactly what we were going for. Simple, clean, absolutely.
He's on a roll.
All right, let's talk about the flooring in here. I know that laminate is one of your favorites.
Oh, I love laminate.
Yeah.
I think he's being funny.
I think he is too.
For buyers, laminate is just hardwood's ugly cousin.
I've never heard that said before.
I haven't either. I mean, I guess he's got a point. Plus, once again, I hate to keep bringing it up, but it is a lot cheaper.
I really wish they'd taken some of the financial resources they allocated to this very expensive hood, perhaps use them to put into the floor to upgrade those to hardwoods.
I agree.
Sometimes you got to do what works, and that works, so.
All right, another feature that I'm kind of partial to. They've put a flat screen in this kitchen, and I got to tell you, you may have to call the owners because I may not leave with that thing in here.
Me too. That's why I go in the kitchen for the flat screen TV.
I don't mind having it here. Maybe if they recessed it more into the wall.
Absolutely couldn't. We wanted to, that bathroom behind it.
Yeah, either the bathroom or the TV goes.
Yeah.
So overall, what's your impression of this kitchen?
There's some things that, you know, they could have taken to the next level.
Right.
I mean, I guess, yeah, you can always do things a little bit better, but like you said, it works perfect for us.
We like it.
I love it.
Coming up,
Based on real estate comps and design, let's talk about who got the best bang for your buck.
our experts are breaking it down.
That's very nitpicky.
And you know that was my idea.
Find out which reno takes top honors
The whole layout, it was such a cohesive design.